Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you. Hello, Facebook. This is The Gray Area, and we are live right now. Back at it again, and we have some very special guests for you guys this evening. It's your boy, Ray E.
It's your boy, P. Wills.
And we have Lexie Jones in the building.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Wonderful,
doing well.
wonderful, wonderful. LaTanya Brown. How you doing?
She said, you better make sure.
I said it like you was in trouble, didn't I? Had to bring it, had to wake you up a little bit. But we're speaking on leadership development, building successful leaders, coaching entrepreneurs. If there's not a day in time that we don't need this, it's right now. You know what I'm saying? There's lots going on, lots of opportunity. But this is the time where we need to put our energy and focus into becoming leaders. We talk a lot about building businesses and the economy and politics and all that, but we missing a few things. Leadership development. You guys are this is your expertise. So what we'll do is we'll start with Lexie and just tell if you could just tell them the name of your company.
Yes.
How long you've been doing this and some of your specialties.
Okay. Well, good evening. My name is Lexie Jones. I'm president, master coach of Lexie Jones, LLC, and Feminitude, LLC. I've been coaching women entrepreneurs in entrepreneurship, leadership, and personal finances as my own business for 4 years, but I've been coaching for about 15 plus years.
Nice. That's awesome.
What inspired you to start what you're doing now?
Good question.
Yes, that's a great question. What inspired me to coach in the areas that I coach in is actually things that have happened to me in my personal life. For example, in the areas of personal finances in 2008, I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost my car. Wow. I lost everything.
Yeah, that was
filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
All of that.
Short time ago. Wow.
Yeah, not too long ago. And so going through that whole process and getting back on my feet and, vowing never again to be in that situation and wanting to help others, who are encountering that situation, trying to get out of that situation or even trying to avoid that situation. So that was one of the things that inspired me in terms of the personal finances. And in entrepreneurship, we were just talking out in the hall, and I was talking about, how I had gotten tired of corporate shenanigans. And, just it was a time, June 2013, and I said, look, okay, I'm no more. I am not going through any more downsizing, outsizing, upsizing, right-sizing, whatever. I knew that I was supposed to own my own business, and it was time to do that. And so I'm just helping other people, particularly women, to make that transition. There are so many people who want to, but they're afraid, or there's some challenges. They don't know quite how.
Right.
So
I think, and I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's just a lot of people want to jump out there and become leaders, but some of them don't know how.
Yeah.
There are natural born leaders. Some
Yeah.
people are just
Yeah.
born to lead, you know, from a kid all the way up, and then they find that that's their niche. But some people just can't quite get it right. So you guys do a great job at coaching and getting them where they need to be. What is feminitude? How you say it?
Feminitude. You
Feminitude.
got it.
Okay. Tell us what that is and what you guys do.
Right. So that arm of my business really houses all of my coaching. So again, I coach women entrepreneurs from idea to launch is the area that I specialize in.
Okay.
And yeah, so just helping women to get their businesses off the ground and stay off the ground.
From ground up. What is
Yes.
what is the main ingredient to becoming a leader? You know, because and this is my idea behind leadership. I think a lot of people have this idea that if you're a boss, you're a leader, and that's not so. Because leaders build those up around them and create other leaders, you know, and send those leaders out there, and they do the same thing. They mimic the process. So that's my definition of what a leader is. Some people just think they see a boss and he must be a leader. There's a lot of bosses that are not leaders.
That's right.
They just got the job.
Right,
You know?
right.
So you know, explain to the viewers what's one of the main ingredients to becoming that kind of leader to lead people.
Well, one of the things is that I always say is if you have no followers, you are not a leader.
Right. That's the start.
You know, it goes to, you know, just because you have a title, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
And so you have to have people that, you know, the other thing is too that you have to have a leader's heart, which means, you know, you are serving. Oftentimes people go after leadership positions because they think it's glamorous or, you know, now I can, you know, do this or do that. But
For sure.
it is really a position of servanthood.
It is.
Right.
And the best leaders understand that. Yeah.
Servant, servant leadership. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna add to that.
Sure.
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 But
Sure.
I think it's also truth.
Right.
You have to be able
Okay.
to know your truth.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Know your why as to why you're actually doing it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Like you said, a lot
Right.
of people actually just do it just because, oh,
Right.
I just want to get up and do something.
They just got a
I feel like I
position,
can
or
do
they
that.
seen
I
somebody
wanna
else do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
you doing this, I don't like the way you doing that.
Right,
So I'm
right.
going, I'm gonna do the exact same thing because I know that my stuff can be better than yours.
Right. Right.
Right.
You know, instead of what is my
Yeah.
drive, what is my purpose,
Yes.
what is my passion, what is my drive to get
Right.
up every morning and do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
stick with this.
Yes.
Right.
Even in those hard times when the money ain't coming in,
That's right.
nothing is right.
That's
How
right.
do I stick with this? How do I
Right,
encourage
right.
myself to continue to build people along the way?
Right, because leaders don't give up. They
Right.
understand that there's a
Absolutely.
road to success.
Right.
And oftentimes you have to go through the change curve. If people don't know what the change curve is, it's basically where you go all the way down and you have to deal with the nitty gritty.
Come on now,
And then you
yeah.
climb back up out of it.
Yeah.
And you go, when you get to the top, you understand why that was necessary.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
But then being open.
right,
Yes.
You have to be open to understanding that although with any business, you cannot do it by yourself. It
Right.
has
Right.
to take other people to come along.
Humility.
To be able to help you
Yes.
along,
be
exactly,
humble.
humility, to be able to help you along that way. And I think so many people misconstrue that, like, no, I'm doing this by myself. I don't need you. I'm good.
Right.
No, I need you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm weak, you
Yeah.
strong.
That's
Or I'm
right.
weak, you know, I'm strong. So to be able to piggyback off of that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's amazing. I mean, because it happens all the time. You know, there are people who just don't understand. Like, you know, we have people we talk to on a daily basis, sometimes weekly, and you know, and it's not to their fault. You know, some people just don't understand what leadership is,
Right.
and you really can't hold it to them. You just got to show them, and a lot of times it's just them walking through the process, or getting with someone who's been through it and kind of watching them go through the process. Because as a leader, you're going to go down with that person, and then you both are going to come up, and that's where they really see it. But if you consider yourself a leader, and that person is going down by themselves, then you really not, you know, you're not being a leader, and you're not showing them how to be a leader. A
Right.
leader is going to walk with you through the mud and the dirt,
Right.
and when y'all come back up, you're going to shine. LaTanya Brown, you have Leading Ladies. Can you tell us what that is and tell us about the organization?
So yeah, so Celine Ladies is a teen girls program. We work with young ladies between grades 5th through 9th grade.
And I called you
Not 5th
Latoya.
through
I'm
9th
sorry,
grade.
LaTanya Brown.
through 12th grade, excuse me.
Messed the name up anyway.
I know, right?
I did, didn't
See? Our mission is to empower young ladies to know their worth and propel them to grow as individuals while providing positive experiences and academic support. So a lot of things that we do is we try to, we are us, we're nobody else. So we try to empower them as much as we can, but also everybody does not have the opportunity to leave their area or their neighborhood or their community. So we try to provide opportunities to be able to take them out of that neighborhood so that they can see something different, so that they can be something different.
Right.
And so we do just a variety of different things. We've done 25 for 25, which is an externship program, which is 25 girls actually shadowing and doing an externship with 25 different businesses.
Right.
Right now we partner with the Bloom Project, which is an organization working with males. They are amazing. They're impacting the city like something crazy.
The Bloom Project,
right
where can we get a hold of them at?
I will, if Arnetta Scruggs, if you are listening, please. I will get you Arnetta Scruggs. She is the executive director of the Bloom Project, but they're doing some amazing things with the boys, and so we actually partner with the Bloom Project at Fayetteville Park Neighborhood Center once a month. So any young ladies who are listening or parents who got kids between grades of 5th grade through high school, they can come on out on the 19th, Friday night, Fayetteville Park Neighborhood Center from 6 to 8. And so we do a variety of things with them. Of course, we're kind of closing up our session after May, and we'll resume back up in September.
Okay.
And
but you do prep in between to get them ready. Okay.
So we are, we're going to be doing a summer piece, which is kind of like a transitional piece for kids who are in middle school that are transitioning to high school, because there really is nothing for them to do that. So we just kind of be like, okay, you in 8th grade, you go to 9th grade, you all right. But it's so much they have to struggle with in middle school, and not having that transition kind of makes it a lot harder. So we want to kind of make that transition a little easier. So we are planning and programming with that right now. And so, we're, we trying to pave the way. We trying to do some things and stuff.
That's awesome.
We do what we can do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I'm seeing something that's happening all over, and a lot of times, like the age group. You mentioned the age group. That age group falls in between 8 and normally about 12, 13 years old, right before they become teenagers. How important is it to capture them before they become teenagers?
Right.
Because we talk about this all the time, and I don't think people understand. Like, a lot of times, you just think because your kid can talk, he can tell you he's hungry, or she's hungry. She can tell you how she feels, she's sleepy. You think that you're done. So now they're learning everything, what's going on around them, even if it's not right.
Yes.
From school, this is like the brightest time for them.
Right.
Explain to people why it's important to capture them before they become teenagers.
Okay, so as we know, teenagers go through teenagers are teenagers.
Right.
Some of them, they teenagers. That's just the only way I can fully explain
Yeah, for sure.
They're teenagers.
We know,
Right?
yeah.
Let them be teenagers sometimes. But when you're dealing with 5th grade, and I'll use an example. I was just at Global Prep Academy, and I just spoke with the 5th and 6th grade girls.
Okay.
And I had them for probably about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And I spoke with them, but at the end of me speaking with them, I gave every girl a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, I let them know, and I told them, this is your time. You use your voice. If you've never had a voice, you have a voice right now. So to write that on that sheet of paper, whatever you need, whatever you feel, whether it's school, home, whether it's a tutor, whether it's a hug, whether it's whatever, to write those things down. And the assistant principal, Sherry Scott of Global Prep Academy, collected them and etc. But some of the things that those girls wrote down, and it was probably like close to 50 girls. But some of them were just saying, like, I just need a hug, or I just need somebody to care, or I just, or with home life situations, this is going on at home, and this is going on at home. And we give our, I have a 14-year-old and a 2-year-old. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. A 5-year-old. And one of the things that I'm learning, my daughter, who was 14, is teaching me a lot of stuff. And she's been teaching me a lot of stuff since she's been here. But she's definitely teaching me a lot more as being a parent. Because as much as I'm her parent, I'm like, I'm talking to you we do this, we do that, but at the end of the day, there's still influences at school. There's still influences at home, her peers, everywhere around her. The things she watch on TV, which she restricted from everything anyway. But
sure, you're becoming a student.
But
you're becoming a student and learning as well.
But I think more, I'm learning how to listen more to her.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that when I was coming up, I didn't come up like she came up.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I'm shielding you from the world. You can't do nothing. Protect you from everything.
Right.
So I'm learning that I have to allow her to be her. But as a parent, I'm learning that everything around her is an influence.
Right.
And in that influence, it could be bad or good. But all I can do is pray. And encourage her to make the right choices and the decisions.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so when talking to young ladies and talking to adults and talking to everybody, one of the things that I'm learning is that we live in a world where everybody's hurting. And nobody has the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm just hurting today. It's okay. We don't give ourselves permission to hurt. We don't give ourselves permission to feel enough. It's like, nope, however this person think of me, that's how they... this is how I need to portray myself. This is how I need to be. So I think for young ladies, it becomes even more because they're just now trying to figure it out. Like, oh, I'm developing breasts, or I got a little booty now. And I may be starting my monthly.
Right.
How do I deal with this? And then you have, depending on how you look, depending on if you're getting bullied at school.
Right.
They have all these other aspects that we as parents or we as teachers, as we as educators, leaders don't necessarily always think about.
Right.
And so to be able to stop and just say, I'm listening. Tell me what it is that you need.
Absolutely.
So that I can see how I can help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
That's valuable.
And in doing that, people don't understand, like, you were literally empowering them. That's huge, especially when, you're dealing with kids, man.
Yeah, you're basically giving them an example of what they need to be, and let's be real. The '80s was wild. I always mention that. Some lived through it, some didn't. But that was a time where a lot of things didn't get learned, and people had children, and these children are here today, and some have children themselves, and now we're in a situation where we're trying to catch up. But it starts now. We all have an individual responsibility to get out here and do something that makes a difference. And this is why leadership development is important. Feeding people the tools that they need to understand how to become a leader. It's bigger than just getting the position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People get fired every day, because they got the brains and the wit, but they don't have the understanding. They're not coachable. They don't become students of their own teachings. And that's at every level, whether you're a CEO or you're what they consider peasants in the room. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has to be coachable and be able to take that and teach somebody else.
Right. And I share my story a lot with them too, and I think that's kind of impactful because a lot of times as young people, and this is something that I've learned even as an adult, looking back on my childhood and how I grew up and the different things that has transpired in my life that has helped me to be the woman that I am today. One of the things that I have realized is that we don't look at what the adults are going through or what they're dealing with. We just worried about how they treat us, how they act towards us, what we have going on. It's all about me being a child at that moment. Are you protecting me? Are you caring for me? Are you loving me? Are you, whatever, but I think that a lot of our kids are missing that. And I agree with, we got a lot of stuff going on in the city right now, in every city. It's not just Indianapolis. But a lot of people are like, it's the youth, but it's the parents.
Right.
So sometimes we have to learn how to embrace those parents and meet those parents where they're at, but show those parents something different. Because I have to use me as an example. My mother, I grew up in Chicago.
Right. Cook County.
I was born there,
Southside.
Cook
I
County.
Represent. No,
Chicago.
She like, no, wait.
I'm represent, no. But, my mother was addicted to drugs, and I never really had a mother. Like, my mother really never was a mother. Like, as much as, my mother, crazy as it sounds, and people, I know quite a few people are going to be like, yeah, that's true. But she was a cross between Medea and Cookie put together. So if you can imagine,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can only, so you can only imagine somebody being like this, and you know, due to that, I was raped, I was molested, I had a lot of other things to the point where you know, she was so strung out at times where I got sold.
Right.
You know, so to be able to, and I hated her for like the longest of time.
Yeah.
And so we have so many kids. Look how many kids we have nowadays where it's an epidemic now. Like we got so many parents right now that are addicted to drugs. Like when I talk to the kids, they're like, my mama, my daddy,
right.
you know, my granny,
Yeah.
you know, all these other things. And so those are things that back in the day nobody really talked about. It was just like taboo. Like we don't want to talk about that. We'll keep it,
Right.
you know, we'll keep it on the hush. What goes on in this house stays in
the
this house.
Right.
And it still kind of is that same concept today, except for now you have social media.
Sure.
So now everybody put everything on social media. You know, and we don't allow, even with that, we don't give kids enough opportunity to share what they see. What are you seeing in your eyes when you go home? You know, what are you seeing? You know, just what is your thought process when you see these things or when you're going through things? And one thing that, you know, as black people, we don't like to talk about is molestation and rape.
Right.
Right. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't like to talk about that. It's like, I can't talk about that.
I think,
right.
Do that.
Because people are ashamed. It's a shame thing, and you don't want to be the one known for being that happening to you. But transparency means everything. That could be the defining moment. Somebody really needs to. They feel like they can step to you and say, "Hey, me too."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You never know who you empowering, and you know, with your transparency.
Right, and you said something really key, which I was going to say is about being transparent, you know, with our children, with our young people. Oftentimes as parents, we feel like we need to hide, you know, some of that stuff, like we never did anything wrong, or we, you know, we were always perfect, but we have to be really transparent with our children about the things that we've gone through. So that they can try to understand, you know, on their level. And when we talk about developing them as leaders and things like that, I agree with you that a lot of it is our fault that they are behind in that, because we don't give them the tools that they need sometimes. And then if we're talking to them about leadership and this and that, we don't give them the opportunity to actually practice that, because we feel like, oh, they're not ready, you know, the young people, they're not ready. And then by the time, you know, then your baby's 20 and now you're like, oh gosh, I got to teach them all this and you know, and it's like, you know, we need to be at every level from the time they come out of the womb. And however they can understand it on their level, teaching them and preparing them.
What are some of those practices that are required that you can inject in a young person today? You know, because a lot of people looking at kids like, I don't know what's wrong with these kids. They just don't get it. But maybe it's how we're implementing it to them. So, I mean, like, and I'll use this as an example, is that a lot of people are becoming disconnected with the church. The church hasn't necessarily evolved into... Yeah, because the church hasn't, and everybody notices this is not anything that's you know, that's hidden. You can see it. You know, the church is one of those places that doesn't necessarily grow with technology. So a lot of the traditional and ethical things that happened years ago are still happening today, and we're kind of behind the curve. So, you know, and one thing that I always address on my personal Facebook page is the church keeping us stagnant? You know, we have to find a way to, and it's not bagging the church, it's holding them accountable for change, you know, which is a good thing. You know, you should be able to, or want to adapt to what's going on today and meet people where they are. So the problem is that the people are getting away from the church because they're not able to connect with the church anymore. It's technology, people are working more. This is America, so obviously the working man and woman is spending more time at work, meeting demands.
Yeah,
so,
but I would say it's even more fundamental than that, and not even just really the technology. I think that in a lot of churches,
the practices.
It's not only practices, but it's yet another space where you cannot truly be vulnerable.
Right.
You cannot, you know, go in there and say, hey, I'm going through this.
A lot of judging still.
You know, I've got this going on, and be really truthful about the things that you're going through, because, you know, people talk and they judge, and you know, they're not necessarily, you know, helping you. And then even, you know, the church is hush hush about a lot of, you know, things too. We talked about, you know, in our households and the things that may happen in our households and how we don't talk about the things happening in our households. But in the church, it's the same way too. You know, there are some churches not talking about, domestic violence and not talking about child abuse, or abuse of any form, or churches not even talking about or getting their people help in terms of finances. It's another area that nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
We all want to pretend that we're doing so well.
Right.
Well,
Right.
well, they do in a sense, and like to piggyback, off of him. I'm not trying to bash the church.
Oh, not at all. Right.
But they do in a sense that as far as finances, which gets me back to their practices. Oh, just keep praying and God is going to bless you with this house and this
relevant.
car.
Right.
And
right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you teach a people that, doesn't matter their ethnic background, they're going to trust what you're saying. So they just feel like, okay, if I keep
wait
giving
long enough.
Yeah. And then if I keep giving to this church and if I keep praying, I'm going to get everything that I want. But you don't know my financial history. I mean, you don't know my credit. I mean, I could be bad with money. So how can you say that?
Yep.
And I have literally been in churches where, the pastor would, oh my gosh, but he would just claim that he's getting some type of spiritual upliftment and all these things like that. And he'll say, hey, all the men here don't, line up and don't give nothing less than $25. And you will see 100 or 200 men just line up. And they will say things like, yeah, God is going to bless you financially this week. And they would say the same thing to everybody. I'm like, what is this? Now, granted, each church isn't like that.
Sure.
But,
right.
But it, it gets back to what you're saying. It just, I just think that community, these churches are supposed to be in the street. Like the leadership should go in each community and not be ashamed of that. Don't let the people come to you. You go to the people.
Right.
That's what Christ did.
Absolutely.
Back off of what you just said, and follow up what
Sure.
you said as well. Too many churches still to this day focus more on religion than relationship.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation with a few of my friends about a few weeks ago, and we were actually talking about this, the difference between religion and relationships, and how you were talking about earlier,
Sure.
The kids, you got to go into these streets. Some
Right.
of these kids, they're not coming.
You got to connect with them in different ways.
Exactly. So I was sharing with them, church was never a big thing, in my upbringing. It just really wasn't like a huge ordeal. And so when I went to church one time with my grandmother, and she was like, and my daddy, and it was like, oh, go up there. What I'm going up here for? And then it was like, no, you need to go up there. What? And I'm like, why some man dipping me in water?
You had no you didn't understand.
Right.
But we don't, and it took for me to become an adult, for somebody to say, you know what, I want to give you this journal. I want to help you to build your relationship with God. So I want you to get this journal, and in this journal, I want you to write for 30 days. Each day, your wants, your needs, what happened that day, etc. After those 30 days, this woman sat me down and said, let's review each and every day. And each and every day, by the time I got to that 30 day to see all the changes, all the things that had transpired, she was like, that's God. And so she was able to break down to me. She didn't necessarily go, she went to scripture, but it wasn't, but she was able to break scripture down.
Right.
So everything that I had thought about that day, all my hurts, all my pains, all my all my joys, all of those things, she was able to reflect that back to the Bible and allow for me to build that relationship. And ever since then, my relationship has been stronger with God. But how many other people out here are, and so many people are like, well, no, you come up here to this altar. Well, if I come up to this altar and I got all this pain, is all my pain going to go away by the time I leave this altar?
Right.
So I think churches have to do a better job with reaching people.
And I single-handedly think that they're missing the action part. Right. So, faith without works is dead. So you can preach faith all day long. You can say, he's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's going to come. But if you're not moving your feet, you're still a physical human being. You're still on this earth, and you still have to make things happen. That's so if you're not doing anything and just waiting, you're not going to get any results. Right. That's not the kind of God, supposed to be
serving.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? The one that they're preaching is not the one that they're serving if you're not moving your feet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that, what people get out of church should have everything to do with not only having faith, but being able to go out and preach the same thing to other people. You should be pumped up when you get out of church, pumped up to go help somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Pumped up to get out in the streets.
Pumped up, though.
Not ready to go back to church next week. Okay, let me see what I'm gonna wear next Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Skip the
right,
whole week.
Right.
You know, because they're there for their. And you know, I'm not speaking about everybody, but you know, I know some people that are just there for their own self fulfillment. You know, whatever that is.
And that's okay. You know,
You know,
the church is a good place for people to fellowship. It's
is.
not a
Yes.
bad
It
place.
is. Yes.
We're just holding pastors and churches accountable for doing more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're receiving income, money from people, and telling them, come on, you know, make sure you come back this Wednesday. Make sure you come back Thursday. Well, what about the other part? Make sure they're doing things at home. You know what I'm saying? Implementing things. Hold your congregation accountable for the things that they're doing in the community.
Right.
So that gets back to something that you said earlier about, well, you mentioned like leadership development.
Sure.
And I believe that in most cases, we truly don't know how to develop
Right.
leaders.
Right. Right.
I think that we develop managers,
Absolutely.
you know,
Why you say that?
because I think that, and you
Interesting.
can apply this, you know, whether it's corporate
Right.
or whatever, but when you go in, you get a new position, you're in leadership, and you know they're pretty much teaching you about, okay, you know, all the tasks that you have to
Right.
that you have to do, and you know whatever reports that you have to, you know, read, and you know all of these. They teach you all of those type things,
Right.
but they don't necessarily teach you how to lead people.
Right.
They don't
Right, that's true.
necessarily develop you, you know, to serve people. Most places don't. There are some who get it right.
Right.
But most places, I don't think we really understand how to develop people.
And you can
As
see that
leaders.
in our culture. You can see that in our culture. We
teaching
we
people.
still have a lot of people who you know, follow things like, you know, we get amped on sports, entertainment, and TV,
Yes.
and that becomes you know, something we do every week. You know, as opposed to building a business, creating a wealth for your family.
Yes.
You know, just using tools that's going to inherently make you great. You know, make your family, you know, your lineage, you know, grow later on. So we got to get back to that. You know, this is why leadership development is important. Let's talk about empowering, because empowering is important in our community today because a lot of people are still lost. They've been introduced to this new thing. I'll call it politics. Man, a lot of people became politicians during this election that weren't politicians. You know, so a lot of people have been awakened by some of the things that have happened, and now they're fumbling to say, "What can I do?" Or, you know, how do I do that? And now you have the government is doing some things like providing money to non-for-profits to do certain things. I still don't believe that the money is going to the right places, and that the waiting list is a little bit too long. And then those people who do get the money are so selfish with it. Like if you, and we'll use this as an example. We talked about this on another show where you get $10 million, your organization alone, okay? And you have 200 kids. There's no way you're going to be able to help all those kids with so much money.
Right.
So why not pull in partners?
Yes.
Pull in people who kind of do the same thing you do.
Yes.
And share that money so that you can reach more people. See, it's really
Yes.
not about the money. It's about how many people you can reach.
Yes.
And that's where our leadership is failing, because these people get this money in this pot. And then now I got to live good. I've worked hard to get this 501(c), and now I got to make sure I'm living good. I got to make sure my team living good. But then you start forgetting about the people you were really supposed to help.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Let's talk about it.
Breathe. There we go. Breathe.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. There you
Let's
go.
get it out.
So here's the thing. I agree with everything that you just said. But when you run into so many people who are about self,
Sure.
leadership is not in that
Right.
at all. Because I think some people misconstrue leadership from self.
Absolutely.
For self.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of organizations out here who are doing some amazing, great things.
Right.
But you also have a lot of closed-minded people out here too.
Yeah.
That can't understand the power of coming together.
Right.
Because what you're doing and what I'm doing, how can we work together
Right.
to benefit both of us? But so many times it becomes, I'm doing this. I'm doing Leading Ladies, so I don't want you to. I'm not fooling with you. I don't want to. I can't mess with you. I can do this. Nope. We good.
Wow. Which amazes me because you can't do everything.
Let me tell you something. One thing that I am is a networking professional.
Right. Okay.
I heard that.
I mean, seriously, anybody who know me knows I would network the world if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to different people on a daily basis who have different organizations, girl organizations. And I'm always like, hey, you know what? We're doing this, we're doing that, or they'll say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm like, oh, good. Let me know when you guys are doing something, so therefore I can try to, reach out to our parents, make sure that our kids can kind of come to your event, etc. Oh, okay. But you'll never hear back from that person. And I just recently, within the past 2 months, I ran into a young lady by the name of Donzella Kinsley, who does Diamonds in the Rough. And she actually called me on the phone one day when we was doing Leading Ladies, and she said, I was, just wanted to talk to you and just wanted to know if the parents, if you needed anything for the parents. Just so happens that night we were doing Leading Ladies and we were doing something with the parents. Can you come tonight? She came. She talked about her program, and I said,
good people.
I said, well, I got your room over there. She was like, wait, what? I said, no, there you go. And we've been partnering ever since, collaborating with each other ever since. There's 2 other young ladies, Deja Sanders and Alicia, can't think of her last name, but they do YOLO.
Okay.
They're 20, 21 years old, and they have started a youth organization, and they came out. Hey, we just want to come, we heard about the program, we just want to come and we just want to sit. Okay, well, we're trying to do this. Oh, would you like to come and do a workshop for our girls?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times when I run into people who, they like, you gonna really let me come in and do something? Why wouldn't I? But because we live in a world where, and we live in a society where I can't share anything with you. I can't do anything with you. This is mine.
Right.
I'm fearful that if your stuff is, if somebody think your stuff is good as mine or is better than mine, then they gonna leave here and go over there. But if we're all serving, what difference does it make?
Exactly, and that's the key word. We're all serving, and which brings me to another thing. If even if we have the same business, there's things that we can benefit from one another.
Absolutely.
A friend of ours, Adrian, and he has a podcast. Shout out to Adrian with Insight Sundays. He does that on Sunday with AM 1013. And, he came by and said, look, let's see how we can build together. And that's exactly what we should be doing.
Yes.
People have to get out of this thing where it's mine. It's all about me. And I get that it's scary thinking that somebody can take your idea but nobody can do it like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was something God gave you, your gift. So even if somebody was to take your textbook and go do it somewhere else, the passion and motivation that you have,
it's not original.
It won't show up.
Right.
Exactly. I know
if we're
people
meeting once a month or if we're meeting twice a month.
Right.
That's still 29, 28 other days.
Right.
That's
absolutely.
Something needs to be done.
served.
Right.
But because of selfishness, oh no, I'm fine, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
I know people ask, they ask me all the time, well, aren't you afraid someone's going to, take this or take that? I'm like, let them take it.
Right.
I mean, because here's the thing, like you said, each person has their unique mix of gifts and how they bring whatever they bring to the table.
Right.
But if my thing, can work for you and whatever you're doing in your corner, of the world, then fine. Take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even if you decide, even if you're taking it maliciously, let me go on.
Right.
I don't care anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Take it. The thing is, I know my word tells me that there's room at the table for everybody.
Right.
Everybody was given a unique mix of gifts to present to the world and to deliver to the world, and how they should deliver it to the world.
Right.
And when people start to focus on that, what is my purpose?
Right.
How am I going to now determine my calling, and then monetize that if you want to monetize it or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But if people would just, like you said, not be, afraid of, somebody's going to take something. Listen, people been on this earth for a long
Look how
time.
many
There aren't too many original
Look how many
ideas.
things have been mimicked.
Right.
Exactly.
How many
You know
different
what I'm
tissue roll
saying?
papers is it? You see what I'm saying? How many
So
different hot
just-
dogs is it?
Right.
I mean,
That's
like nothing is exclusive to one person.
No, not
You
at
know,
all.
a lot of this stuff is just repackaged up and sold in a different way.
But that's when
And
that's when your loss of purpose comes in at.
Right.
Right.
Like you said,
If you understand it, you
if
ain't
you-
worried about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I tell people, I can give you everything we got.
Take it.
Right. Right.
If you can use it and apply it
Absolutely.
to help somebody else.
Oftentimes,
then you do
yeah.
that.
Oftentimes, when they find out how much work you're doing, that's when they realize that maybe this wasn't for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
That's
so-
true.
so-
But I
so
wanted to
people-
touch
yeah,
on
go ahead,
something
go
you
ahead.
said
Sure, go
earlier,
ahead.
too, about people being politicians now and
Sure, sure. Oh yeah.
and all these things going into
it's heavy today.
politics and everything that's going on, and people now are oh, what are we gonna do, and this, that, and the other, and sometimes I sit and I chuckle because this issue has gone back into Bible days when
Sure.
we first asked for a king,
Right.
King Saul.
Sure.
And from the time we asked for a king, when we had God Almighty,
Sure. Right.
and we asked for a king, now we've been facing these different challenges. Now we worried about who's in,
Right.
who's in
Right.
office and all of this kind
Sure.
of thing. And I tell
Ego.
people all the time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's in office.
Absolutely not.
If again, who you are and what your purpose is
Right.
on this earth, and listen to God or whomever you deem is, whatever, and just go after that and be focused about that on your life. It doesn't matter what's going on in Washington, D.C. or
Right.
or wherever else.
If you read scripture, you know what's going on, and you shouldn't fear anything.
Right.
Right.
I think a lot of people get stuck with the flesh. You know what I'm saying? And we've all been there where we let somebody get under our skin, or we allow somebody to get in our heads, and that's kind of throw our whole thing off. And I was wondering, I was thinking to myself during this election, how in the heck does somebody like this get that far? That's the only thing I was thinking. And I think it wasn't the fact that he was trying to become president, because anybody can become president. It was the fact that he was allowed to do things that nobody
Yes.
else is allowed to do.
Yeah.
And I think I was more frustrated with that. But, after, and we read scripture and we talk about these things all the time, but after understanding what's happening in the world today and what's
Yep.
going on based on scripture,
Yeah.
this was supposed to happen.
Right.
And it's really fueled a lot of people to wake up and do something about it, because what I feared was that we wouldn't get someone like Hillary, and it would be all. No, we didn't need Hillary. We actually did need Trump.
Yeah.
Because he
We
allowed
needed
us to wake up and
wake up.
understand that, hey, if this dude can be president, they really don't care about nobody but the money.
That's true.
Okay.
Because we're always sitting there depending
Absolutely.
on somebody else.
Right.
To, we're
That's
sitting
true.
there
That's
waiting
true.
for somebody else to save us, or for somebody else
Absolutely.
to pull us up and
You gotta
give
pull
us
yourself-
this
right.
or give us that. And if we would just, like we've been saying, just come together.
Mm-hmm.
There's organizations out here like
power in
the
numbers.
Indianapolis Black Chamber is trying to do some
Yeah.
great things, trying to get our businesses to come alongside
Absolutely.
and be a part and do some great things. Like Everything Underground with
Right, yeah.
Michelle and all. There's some great organizations of people trying to bring people together.
Absolutely.
And I know when I coach women, I'm always talking about the power of collaboration.
Yes.
Get out of this mindset of trying to get out there and do it on
can't
your
do it
own.
by
You
yourself.
ain't going
You
nowhere
need a team.
trying to do it on you. You're going to spin your
Right.
wheels.
That's true.
Yeah. You're doing a great job, because people will start coming to you.
Yes.
And those are the people that you say, hey, look, this is what I've been doing. If you want to help me do this, that's fine. Anybody that comes to you to try and make $1 off of you is absolutely there for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
And they'll weed themselves out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They will
Yes.
weed themselves. I tell my partner this all the time, like, man, look, let's not be concerned about people, because people are going to come and go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You start out with people, and after time it kind of fades into something else, and that's okay. It's not a big deal, because we're just human beings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's expected.
Stop complaining.
It's expected.
Because
And
I
take
think one of the things that we have had is we complain all day long.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We never find a solution.
Go do
or we
something
never
about
work
it.
on.
Go learn something.
Exactly. Read a
One,
book.
one,
Go
Read a
learn
book,
something. Get a
educate
coach.
That's
Do
true.
something. You know, there's so much out
Exactly
there
what
for
it
people.
is.
Right.
And see,
I've never been in politics at all.
Right.
and
But
see,
as things kind of went, you know, with the
Yeah.
whole election, I started reading. Like,
Absolutely.
Let me learn more about legislation.
Yeah.
Because I need to. That's
Absolutely.
When I read about it, I was like, dang, why I ain't never.
Exactly. That's why I said it was necessary for Trump to get in office because, man, I mean,
And I
it
didn't
was
know.
like, whoa, I need to start reading about my history.
Right.
Right.
yeah, and I want to touch on something that you said, Ms. Lexie, when you were talking about how they have created managers instead of leaders. Do you think politics has played a major role in that?
Absolutely. I think our politics, I think our educational system, I think all of our traditional institutions have played a role in that. Because we can talk about, you know, I get on my soapbox and I talk about education. You know, for me, it's like, you know, that whole process of education is not spitting out individuals.
Right.
For me, it's spitting out, you know,
Right.
robots or preparing everybody to go to work.
Sure.
We do not teach our young people, whether it's education, the church, and we do not teach our young people to understand what their purpose is
To be leaders.
and how they're supposed to deliver that to the world. No, we teach them to go work for somebody else.
Right.
You know, as long as you have your house and your fence and your dog and
Yep.
your 1.5 kids or your 2.5 kids or
Right.
whatever, then
Right.
life is great.
Right.
And so we walk around, it's like we're just, you know, part of this
Going through the motions.
machine, you know, going through the
Stagnant,
motions. Then when you
content.
about, you know, 30, 40 or whatever, then you sitting there like,
Man.
I'm unhappy as heck.
Right.
Because I didn't.
I done
because
wasted
didn't
20 years.
my passions. And which is something that something else that I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So why do you think the minorities have been trained to be Democrats?
Oh, that goes back to history. Go
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, just based on,
Go ahead.
just based on everything you just said.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
You know, like you said, and I think it's based
You can
on
answer that
everything
too, Tanya.
that I've said. We have always, you know, we're trying to, you know, look for somebody else to
Yep.
Do something for
do
us.
something
Okay.
for us.
Exactly.
And
okay.
that also goes, you know, back to not knowing our history. Again, which traditional education is not going to get into that. Oh, they'll tell you about Martin Luther King and they'll tell
Absolutely.
you about
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman and all, and that's great. They did some, you know, great stuff as well. But they're not going to tell you that, you know, there are a lot of people of color who pretty much invented everything we
Absolutely.
are using and doing
Yeah.
in this world today, you know. So it's just that the whole system, all the institutions, with my opinion,
Sure.
where, you know, are set up to just keep us asleep and set up to where people don't really think about their own potential
Exactly.
and what they were placed here on it. If everybody on this earth was doing what they were placed on this earth to do,
Key word.
can you imagine?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that goes from that goes into history, understanding who you are and where you came from, and it is in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, so people have to. There's definitely a wake up that needs to happen. It's happening whether we like it or not. You're gonna be woke up, and God is gonna find a way to smack you in the face like he
Well,
did this past year.
Yeah, I know. I was one of those people. I was telling her, you know, I worked in corporate and I really enjoyed my job. I enjoyed what I was doing, and I wrote about this in my latest book,
Okay.
Driven Success. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I was working with young people and working with adults and helping them, same thing I'm doing now, helping them to understand their purpose, determine their niche, and to monetize it.
Sure.
And I really enjoyed it, but the executive leadership and the corporate shenanigans that were going on a day-to-day basis,
ugly.
right? That thing was so ugly. And, you know, the second time that I got, you know, downsized, right-sized, or whatever, you know, there was one of the ladies that was an executive leader pulled me in the office one day and decided that she was just going to move me over to another program, because, in my opinion, she was intimidated by me. And I'm not coming for you. I didn't even want what you, what you had, but she was intimidated by me. So she pulled me in the office to demote me, but she could not demote me because there was nothing in my, file that warranted that or whatever. So she called it, I think you'll be a better fit for this other other program over here, and shifted me right out of, what I was doing. And when that happened, I vowed that day, this is the last daggone time this is going to happen to me. Because I know I'm supposed to be doing, something greater, something else, something, owning my own business. I've known this for some time, but you get used to the checks coming in and used to, and I did enjoy my work, you know.
Content.
Right, and you get content,
and
right, and it's just life, and you just every day getting up that same old, doing the same old, right, and so like you said, I had to get slapped in the face, and that was my slap in the face, and I said, never again,
So here's a question though for you, because we kind of touched on this last time, in a sense, but not in its entirety. But so did you just jump and get into what you're doing now? And did you have very little capital, or did you make a plan to say, okay, I'm going to wait for about 3 months. I'm pissed off. I want to start my own business. So I have a 3-month plan, and then when I get this much capital, then I'm done.
Right.
So I mean, which one was it? You just jumped, or did you just cut it out?
It was a combination of both, kind of, sort of, if you could say. And all of this is in my book too. But so that day I decided, okay, I'm going to prepare myself to leave this place.
Okay.
So they shifted me into this, other program to be director of this other program. Okay. And, but from that point on, my focus was preparing myself to get out of there.
Right.
Because I knew at some point they were going to get rid of that program too. And that time, that time came, and you get 6 months, And then they decide, to send HR around and say, hey, to see if people wanted other things in the organization. I was like, listen, I don't want anything you have to offer.
Right.
Just, find something for my staff because they want to, want to work. But
sure.
I'm good. So June of 2013, when that program closed, I left. Now, I had written out probably back in, I want to say it was November before that June. God woke me up one night, and I wrote out from beginning to my plan for what I wanted to do as a business owner.
Sure.
And I put a deadline on it, and I said by April of 2013, I'm launching this thing. So I did, wrote it all out and did just that. Launched it in April, just before got done, with that job. And I just, stepped on out there. I didn't, the type of business that I wanted to start didn't require a whole lot of capital.
Okay.
I'm coaching, so it doesn't require a whole lot of capital. I didn't necessarily have to go out and get a space or, anything like that. I could use my home. I could use Starbucks. I could use whatever. So it didn't require a whole lot of, capital. However, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so as I got out there, I was fine because I was living on my severance and, had savings and all of that.
So you were in a leadership position.
Yeah.
Okay. Higher.
Oh, yeah. I was a director.
Position.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was, the assistant director of a charter school.
Okay.
Before they shift me over to manage this other program. So, I leaped in the sense of, because I really didn't have a whole lot of finances set aside to, go. So I really had to get clients. I really had to, and I had my ups and downs. All of that is in the book too. And struggled, even coming out because, like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. And then I finally had to be like, girl, can you go get a coach? So I'm go get a business coach.
So who did you go out and get? Who did you go out and get as a leader, as a coach, to get you into this place? Because, like you said,
Yeah.
obviously you went down, and I
Yeah.
mean, and that's normal for you to rise to who you are now.
Yes.
You know, it was necessary for you to get down there. So,
Yes.
who did you call upon to pull you out of the?
So my
gutter?
business coach is April Franks Hunt,
Okay.
and she's out of Oklahoma,
Shout out
Oklahoma
to
City.
April.
Shout out to April, Coach
Yeah.
Speak and Serve, and the Coach Speak and Write for Profits group.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Love it, Coach Speak and Write for Profits on Facebook. But I for some time was looking for a business coach, and for me it couldn't be anybody, right? Because I'm just gonna be honest, you know, I'm a know-it-all, right? Like I'm one of those, right? I'm one of those. Oh my gosh!
But there's nothing wrong with that. You just
No.
want somebody that's better than
needed
you, and somebody
somebody-
that can teach you something.
And that could,
And
yes,
that's
could
okay.
teach me something,
Yeah.
can hold me accountable,
Right.
you know, and the
Right.
things that they were teaching were
Because
things
if
that
your
were gonna
mentor is
work.
somebody that you know more than, then is that your mentor?
Yeah, you know, so I was introduced to her by a mutual friend of mine. Shout out to Amanda Boyd, who introduced me to her. And I followed April and watched her for some time.
Okay.
And then became a client of hers.
Awesome.
And I'm telling you, grew by leaps and bounds.
Right.
You know, and so I'm a proponent, of course, because I'm a coach, but I'm a
Sure.
proponent of you
Right.
know.
You were a student first.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know
Right.
when you get out there, and people
definitely
don't
true.
want to go and get the education they need. Oh, they think it costs
Mm-hmm.
too much money, or you know, oh, I can just go learn this on my own. You know, and I've been there, so I can say this. Yeah, go learn it on your own. Take 5, 6, 7, 8 years learning it on your own. You know
When
what I'm
somebody
saying?
already
Or
has
go
the
get
keys.
somebody who
Yeah.
right,
Right.
who could allow you to to walk in the door
Mm-hmm.
and minimize the mistakes. You know.
Let's talk about that as well, because I feel like a lot of people, this is the day of the scam, right? You know, everything's a scam. If you have a great idea, a good friend of mine, Demont, he always posts stuff like this, you know, well, everybody think everything's a scam, you know what I'm saying? And you can have the greatest idea and you can have the keys to it, you know, but it costs $50.99, you know, $49.99. They will look at that sideways. What am I getting? You know, and it's just like, dude, I mean, you know, invest in your, you know,
We're
growth.
not taught to invest, and that goes back to what you were saying
Yeah.
with the youth and education, because
And politics,
we're not,
yeah.
and politics too. Because, but I'm gonna go to the school thing really quick because
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, because we actually, our kids need to learn by the time they graduate from high school, they should know how to balance the checkbook,
Absolutely.
how to count,
Right.
how to read.
Have a credit card, not
to
be
invest.
able to use it, but have it.
But
Yeah.
they have to
Understand
fully
it.
know.
Understand credit.
They need to have financial literacy classes
Right.
in every single school.
Absolutely.
Because we are not preparing our kids enough
Right.
for no child. I don't care who it is. Nobody, period, should live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
But so many of us, how many of us are living paycheck
Right.
to paycheck? Oh, I don't
Right.
know how this, what I'm gonna do with this, where this is gonna come from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
Then I gotta ask Paul for a bag.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
spending at least $500 to $600, you know, every 2 weeks
Absolutely.
Right.
on stuff that's
But
unnecessary.
we're
Right.
not teaching our kids. We're not teaching them how to educate themselves.
Right.
We're teaching them, okay, well, you can look at TV and you're going to see everything you need to know.
Right.
Or you can hear rap music, or you can listen to music, or you can do whatever else.
Well,
I'm not
learn the
blaming
words
no
and
other music.
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
At 4. The
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not teaching our kids enough to educate yourself, read more.
Right.
Know what it is that you need to know so that you can be successful in everything that you do. You're not limited to
Yep.
anything in this world.
Absolutely.
But your mindset will limit you to a whole lot of things
Yep.
if you do not know.
Right.
What
Right.
You don't know,
Yeah.
you don't
You
know.
what you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And two quick things when you talk
Go ahead.
about investing,
Sure.
you know, in yourself, and you know, people will talk about, oh, you know, your program is a couple $1,000s or
People want
$5,000, and I'm sitting there, but you'll go to Purdue University,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you'll pay,
Get that certificate.
you
or
know,
that
$15,000 a year.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
To get this piece of paper.
And you can skip around that by paying a couple of thousands.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But you don't ask,
Right.
and you don't go ask Purdue University, oh, what can you guarantee me if I pay you this $15,000 a year?
Right.
You know, but you want to ask the business coach, what can you guarantee me? I can't guarantee you nothing except the
That is
fact
a
that
dependent
I'm gonna
mindset.
give you what I can give you, but it's
Right.
up to you to work it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
up to you to work it,
Yeah, that
right?
is- yeah.
Absolutely. A
You
good
know?
friend
That
of
is-
our, a good friend of ours with the Merit Group preaches that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Terry Doves from our
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
fantastic
good people.
We,
They're great people.
yeah, we've had a chance to sit with them and realize, like, man, we missing out on so many revenue streams that we didn't even, and not only that, I'm a business person myself, but I felt completely stupid sitting in front of them learning about business because I thought I knew everything. And, I do web development and technical writing, so I write policies and procedures. Thought I had it all figured
That's
out.
right.
So I got in front of some people who know what they're doing. That's worth the investment to me because they know things that I don't know and they can teach me how to get there. So we're working with them, and I'm just telling you, just in a short time, oh yeah. I mean, I recommend anybody who's trying to get it together, get with the Merit Group, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Or the people that are working with them because obviously that name is going around and we all understand business and what is required. Oh yeah. Terry will get you.
She a friend of mine.
Yeah. Terry will get you.
Shout out to Terry.
Shout out Terry Dove. But yeah, she got on me.
Yeah,
but
but
she know us love. So.
absolutely. But the point of it is investing in yourself is a good thing. Now there's
right.
people out there that are naturally followers. You're not gonna get them to. They're very comfortable with working for people and going from home to
that's
work
fine.
and taking care of home. That's okay.
Yep.
But these are for the people who are not happy with their job.
Right.
Know that there's something else out there for them.
Right.
They're a leader at heart, but they don't get the opportunity.
Right.
This is your chance.
Right.
You're supposed to be doing something so that you could teach other people to do the same thing.
Right.
But you have to invest in yourself, and you have to get with someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
That's important to me. Like if I've experienced this. I got a house 3 years ago, and I wanted a deck, a concrete slab,
Yep.
and I got to looking and listening to different people, and they got to throwing the cost around. I'm like, man, I'm not paying all that. You know what I'm saying? I could do this myself.
Yeah.
So I went to Home Depot and Lowe's and started looking at their price. Like, you know what? It didn't sound too bad for me to call old boy and come put this fence up. It'll take him a week to put this up. It'll take me 3
me 5
years.
years.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So sometimes you have to just bow down and pay someone for their service. And that's okay because you get it faster. You get it
Right.
more accurate. And if it's something break,
And
then
more-
you don't
and more
understand it, you
efficient.
can
Return on
always
your
go back to
investment.
them.
Yeah.
With that too,
And more
you
efficient.
also have to understand that what their profession was something that was not your profession.
Exactly. Right.
You had to allow for them to be a professional company.
Exactly. This is what they do.
Do exactly
Right.
what it is that they do.
Yeah, you can. It's like we're gonna use the fence thing again. You can't come in and tell the fence dude how to build a fence.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Let the once he give
Let
you the
him do what he
keys,
do.
let him do what he does. And then once you get the keys, then you could go teach people how to build a fence the way
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
build it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Absolutely.
So, and I always use off the wall
You
stuff
might
like
not even
that.
need
That's
to ever
fine.
build a fence.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might just need to provide the resources. Somebody
Absolutely.
Else would have them go.
Absolutely.
Right.
We live in a society where everything is third party. And it didn't take me until I got out of college to understand that everything is contracted out to somebody to do something. And nothing is done by the people themselves. If you look at a company like Comcast, they have people out here, driving trucks and doing what they do. But
Yeah.
they can't keep up with the workload. So guess what?
They
They got to
contract
hire
it out.
contractors and people that know how to do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to hire somebody to do something that you don't know how to do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Please.
Oh man.
Okay.
I mean, it's all an investment. It's
Please.
okay. I'm not a video guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay somebody to do some video in
In
a
a
minute.
heartbeat.
Because I just don't have the patience.
Absolutely.
In
Shout
a
out to
heartbeat.
Justin Sutton.
Yeah. Frame by frame. I just don't have the patience. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's people that love doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to invest in things if we want to move faster and get there.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I am not afraid of, saying, look, that's not my lane. Who can I get?
Absolutely.
Let me pay you to do this for me.
Absolutely.
I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that, and sometimes there are some things maybe you want to, do it yourself. And that, that's okay
Right.
too.
Right.
But just, no, that
Don't let it
you
hold
got to
you up.
invest in yourself at some
Yeah,
point.
don't
Because
let it
here's
hold
the
you
thing,
up. Yeah.
here's the thing. You want people to come and partake in your business. You want people to come and buy your products or your services or your this or your that. But if you aren't willing to invest in you, why should I invest
Exactly.
in you?
Exactly. They want you to drop 12K on them, but they haven't even dropped 12K on themselves.
themselves.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it all comes full
That's that
circle.
dependent mindset.
And it's okay,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm coming to find out that, black people, we hold each other accountable all the time.
No, we don't. We'll hold each
Well,
other
well,
accountable
it-
enough.
For the
Well, in a sense of telling people what they need to be doing.
Yes.
The problem is that we take that to heart and we don't do nothing reactionary behind it.
yeah.
So we have to get out of our feelings because oftentimes we let somebody tell us about ourselves and then we cut them off.
That's true.
Instead of thinking like, maybe, man, what would make that person say that? Maybe I do need to change something about my business or my process or to make it. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
think of it from a perspective. We
But
get
that
it.
person
We
saying
can't.
it-
We can't hate people. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at like, why would that person say that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and
Absolutely.
that's
It-
part of being a leader.
Yeah,
Because if you can't be a leader, and you could tell people what to do. Now you can't tell me how to do it. I'm telling you how to do it. That's not leadership.
Right.
Right.
I mean, all that criticism, well, it has to be constructive.
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one.
it has to be
Number
constructive.
one, and us as a people, we have a big problem in trying to tell people what they should be doing, but we're not a living example of what we
Right.
should be.
Or
So
don't
if I'm
provide
telling
a
you,
solution. Don't provide a solution.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I can
No
tell
solution.
You,
Yeah,
you should be doing this.
right,
But you ain't
right.
gonna tell me how.
You should
Right.
be tilting your head this way.
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna tell you go like this.
Yeah, right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
It's,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like I'm not. I love Vegas. I'm gonna get into Vegas. I like using analogies because I'm
Yeah.
an analogy person. But if you in Vegas at the craps table and this guy next to you done lost 10K. And he's trying to tell you how you can win.
Come on, Dan.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me how to win and you lost all your money? You know what I'm
I
saying?
hope this is your one loss out of your 20 wins.
So
Or
Yeah.
something.
yeah,
I'm
you also have a lot of people telling you what you need to be doing, but they haven't done it themselves. So
Yeah.
we have to be critical of ourselves as well. And and me and Pat, we'll tell people in a minute. We didn't go to school for this.
didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't
and
go to
At
school
all.
for
You don't
this.
necessarily have
But we're
to.
learning
Right.
every day. Every day we get more confident and better. And I tell you what, from the time that we started in January to now, it's an extreme difference.
Yeah.
We have better synergy. We gel well together, and we're constantly learning from the people that come on. I done learned so much stuff. This whole segment, I've been quoting stuff that people that came on the show didn't say it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. And we have to be willing to take that and then feed it to other people.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
when the next segment, I'm gonna be saying some stuff y'all told me. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it should work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
Let's talk about mentorship, because, and I always talk about the young people, but and not that the adults. There's some adults that need mentors as well, but we have to reach the young people because they're going to be becoming adults soon, and the programs that you guys provide are in alignment with creating young leaders. You know what I'm saying? So give the people, all our viewers, what are some things that they can do to be good mentors and to build leaders from a mentor perspective?
first, let me start off by saying mentorship is not perfection.
Okay.
Right.
Just because
Right.
you
That's
are
a good point.
mentor, just because you somebody has asked you to be a mentor, does not mean that you have to deny yourself from being a mentor because you feel like you are not perfect or you fail in that life or some different things are coming your way that you just can't handle at that moment. Mentorship is simply being truthful and
Right.
being there, listening,
Right.
helping that person along the way. We all have been through life. We all have a story. It's about being there, showing that person, you know what, I'm here for you. How
Right.
can I be here for you?
Exactly.
Right.
A lot of times we underestimate the power of a mentor.
Right. Right.
And a mentor is extremely.
They've walked through the
important and
process.
vital.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like with the I'll use the Bloom Project. Amazing
Sure.
organization. Shout out to Bloom Project. And they work with young males, and they host different mentorship, like little outings,
Right.
events, on a regular. I'm not for sure of their results. I'm sure it's good, but they're constantly looking for mentors, and these are black males who they're looking for.
Right.
And then you can, you have so many black males that are walking around them daily, that are in their neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and feel like, oh, I can't be their mentor. Why can't you be their mentor?
Sure.
This
Yeah.
is like even the young ladies of Leading Ladies. I've reached out to several different people to say, hey, would you mind being a mentor for this particular person?
Right.
And I had one person say, I would love to be a mentor, but I'm not right now.
Mm.
And I said,
that mean?
I
Well,
appreciate
at least he
you
was
for
humble
that.
enough to say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, well, I appreciate you, for saying that.
Sure.
But you do realize that you don't have to be perfect.
Right, right. You're probably
Because-
the exact example that this person needs.
Exactly.
You don't have to be perfect to be a mentor. It doesn't come with it's not a handbook that comes with mentorship. It's not a requirement. All that a mentor does is really, it requires time.
Right.
And the importance and the significance of a mentor is very impactful.
Right.
And we everybody, I think we all definitely underestimate what a mentor looks like.
Right.
Because in our minds, we're like, a mentor should be well groomed. A mentor should be, nice
it all
looking.
together.
Right. Right.
And the reality of it is that every mentor does not.
Right.
Exactly.
Who
No one
does?
does.
No one
Absolutely.
But, I
But
think
they're
that
experienced.
we say-
Right.
exactly.
They've had the experience.
But
Right.
the experience and the time. It can be you just sitting. You might not have no time whatsoever. I mean, not no time. Excuse me. You might have no experience or whatever, but you might just sit down with a young person for 2 hours a month. That's what most mentor programs do.
Right.
2 hours a month with one child.
Right.
One person, have that one-on-one contact, have that conversation, sit down, listen to that person, hear what that person has to say, understand what they're saying, and be able to just support them in whatever find out what they like, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, etc.
Right.
Support them, empower them, and encourage them.
Right.
That's it. That can be a phone conversation.
Yeah.
It does not have to be in person.
Yeah.
But so many people misconstrue this mentor.
Right.
Oh, this mentor has to be,
Right.
this. I know some organizations who have asked for mentors, have gotten mentors, and declined those mentors. Not because of criminal background checks, but because they did not like the way that they looked. They did not fit the part
Wow.
of what they thought
Right.
that
Right.
mentor
Wow.
should look like.
Wow.
And it blew my mind. Like, what the hell? But it did, because what does a mentor look like?
Right.
A mentor comes
Right.
in all shapes and sizes.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my friends are my mentors.
Right.
Right.
But I can't even say enough about I cannot say enough about mentors, and I'll use myself as an example. I went through a lot in high school, and I was homeless throughout high school, and I stayed with different friends throughout high school, and so there was a lady by the name Miss Body. So my friends and stuff, they were like on the step team, and they would go do a little different stuff with her, and I'm like, whatever. And I got an attitude. I got no attitude.
Right.
So every time she say something, I'm like,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So she dropped me and my friend off at my friend's house, and she was like, every time I see you, I'm gonna talk to you. I was like, don't say nothing to me. You don't even know me. And of course, I'm me, because at that time I had a really bad attitude. I was just real bad. And so, she didn't realize that she was a mentor to me at that time.
Right.
So every time she seen me, she kept her word to me.
Right.
I didn't speak back to her.
Right.
But she was still like, hey, Tanya. Hey,
Deep
Latanya.
down, you love that she cared.
Hey, Latanya.
Right.
And it broke me. Each time she spoke to me, it broke me down, because it allowed for me to understand.
Right.
Wow, somebody actually might care
Right.
at this moment.
Right.
And so like I said, we underestimate the power of a mentor. We underestimate the power. I'm not even gonna say mentor, but we underestimate the power of just being there,
Yeah.
being
Absolutely.
Right.
present.
Right.
Your
Right.
presence is more important than anything. Just being present. You can sit
Right.
down. For black men who want a mentor, they can sit down with a young man and play a video game.
Man, you might be the line between
Or
them going to
like-
rob somebody
Exactly.
or kill somebody. I mean, and they
Right.
might just need that conversation.
That's
Exactly.
it.
Like, man, don't do it.
Right.
And that might be all they need.
Right.
Yeah.
And y'all can
Like
be
you
playing
was-
Call of Duty.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, over some
For a
basketball
woman,
or something.
You
Right.
you can be a mentor just by sitting and having that conversation, watching a TV show, painting your nails, sitting at the nail salon, just doing whatever.
Right.
Just having those general conversations, and just like you said, from going to rob somebody, kill somebody, and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But even with the females, from going out, getting pregnant, and
Right.
doing other stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and like you said, it's not about perfection, because honestly, people are always watching. They're always watching, and those who are needing someone to be a mentor per
Right.
se or whatever, sometimes they want to know that you fell, and how
Right.
did you
And it's okay
get
to
back
fail.
up? You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
That sometimes they want to know that, and when we continue to try to put off these things, like, oh, we're perfect, you know, then we give off this impression to people that in whatever you're mentoring in, whether it's entrepreneurship or leadership or something, then they begin to feel like they cannot attain that.
Right.
Because I have to be so, you know, perfect.
Sure.
You know? And so sometimes they just, you know, they're looking and waiting for you to fall, not to like kick you down, you know, or anything like that, but they're just, is this person human? Is this person, you know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
Can I relate to them? Can they relate to me?
Right.
You know? So it really isn't about, you know, being perfect. And in terms of young people, and even in our own homes and the conversations that we have with our children every day, I know, you know, with mine, I'll talk with them about leadership issues I may be having, you know, outside of here in some organization that I'm working with or whatever. And I'll turn around and ask them, how would you handle that? You know? Walk me through your, you know, if you were in this situation, how would you do that? You know, even down to my 1-year-old, whatever I'm doing, if I'm, you know, doing a Facebook Live for my coaching clients and, you know, teaching them about something, sometimes she's sitting right there, you know, and it's so funny because I'll post things on Facebook about, you know, my kids, my 1-year-old sometime, and she went and I have these headsets that I use to do my little, you know, lives and stuff. And she put the little headset on and she was talking, you know, and her little 1-year-old jibber jabberish. But, you know, she's watching, she's learning.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to allow our children to be a part of all of that, be a part of all the good stuff. And when things aren't going right, you know, because I'll talk to my children. Hey, look, just stuff ain't, you know, this is what's going on with me.
And
Mommy having a moment. Pray for me.
Sometimes we need to see those experiences to kind of understand what's going on, and you have to explain to them as well.
Absolutely.
I think the problem today is that we let kids see too much, and then we don't explain to them what's happening.
Gotta explain.
So now they're left with what just happened.
Right.
You know, and that's subliminally, that's something that they take with them into adulthood.
Yes.
So if that was never challenged or anything explained, and now they don't know how to deal with that situation.
Right.
So speaking with them is, you know, at a young age is very important about some of those things, and finding a way to talk to kids. I think that there's a thin line between becoming your kid's friend and being your kid's parent.
Sure.
I think some people fall into that category where they just become the friend, and it gets out of control. And some also fall into that category where they're a sergeant. You know what I'm saying? Which is almost why it's important for mother and father to be in a home, because you get a balance of both. But oftentimes we're not. We don't have the courtesy or we don't have that. And that's okay. So you just have to understand how to balance both. So the love and being hardcore on them. You know, those are some of the things that I think will help kids as they get older. Do you guys see a lot of people? Let's not talk about kids all the time, but just people in general that have self-esteem issues, because we see them. We see them in adults and kids as well. And sometimes that comes into the kid's life unexpectedly, because some adults don't know how to deal with it. I have somebody that I know very well that growing up, they had a hard time coping with things. And they would do things to themselves, like harm themselves, and then, you know, the kids grow up and do the same thing. And it's like, you know, did that kid see you doing that at some point? And is that the way that they feel like they should cope with it because of self-esteem issue? If you feel like that, if something is going on with you, definitely reach out to somebody.
Absolutely.
Reach out and get some help. Don't be afraid. Don't be shamed for what's happened to you as you were a kid or growing up, because when you got little people watching you, they have no choice but to follow into your footsteps until they understand what's right from wrong. So if you don't get the help you need to become a better leader for your kids, then they'll never learn how to be leaders.
I think I want to piggyback on what you were saying earlier.
Sure.
Well, all of you were saying earlier, actually. And I'll use me as an example. Like I said, I have a 14-year-old, so this was probably a few years ago. But I had to understand that I had to start giving myself permission to cry in front of my kids, because coming up, I didn't really cry. I was like, they always say, like, boys are taught to, you know, don't cry, and that's how I was just kind of like, you don't cry. What you crying for?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as an adult, I still be like, I ain't no punk. I ain't crying. You ain't gonna see me crying. And so my daughter got mad or something. She was like real mad, and it was something regarding her daddy, and she was just like real frustrated. But I realized like she did whatever she could in her power not to cry.
Right.
And then at that moment, I had to look at her to realize that unconsciously,
Right.
I have not given her that permission.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely.
Feel,
Yeah,
and
that's
to
a good
just say,
point.
you know
Great
what?
point.
It's okay if I cry.
Right.
So now every time,
Yeah.
probably a little too much.
Yeah.
I'm crying probably a little too much. All
Yeah.
the time, like, but why are you crying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just crying.
Yeah.
I'm making up for lost time. Just crying. But
Sometimes that's necessary.
But I think that it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's a big thing. But I think for me personally, I have to reflect on, I try to pay attention to the things that my kids are doing. But I also don't expose them or give them too much. Because just like you were saying, I let my kids be kids.
Right.
I'm not going to put you in an adult position.
Right.
And then get mad at you when you take on that adult role. No,
Sure.
you will stay a child.
Right,
That's
absolutely.
the role that
Absolutely.
you deserve to be, and you deserve to have your childhood.
They often need to be
and not
reminded.
let it be taken
Yeah.
away from you.
Yeah.
But I think so many times, even as adults, I think everybody. Let me say this really quick. I think everybody struggles with self-esteem
Sure.
issues.
Oh, yeah.
You can have you can feel good about yourself. You
Right.
can love yourself.
Right.
But I think that everything. We struggle with something. Like I was just
Absolutely.
explaining to her earlier. I was like, you know, I claim like, you know, I'm about to start this speaking tour, and I love to talk. Talking is my thing.
Sure.
But I recently just acknowledged, because
Right.
I'm living in my truth with a lot of different things right now, and I
Sure.
just realized that I have never liked the sound of my voice.
Oh, okay.
On radio, on film, and I was telling her I just did a shot a documentary with 7 amazing individuals, including Terry Dove.
Okay,
she's
nice.
in that documentary.
Nice. Nice.
Some wonderful individuals: Melina Carter, Tavi Patterson, Rebecca Jones, Davisha Fredericks.
Yeah, we know
Her last
Davisha.
name, Davisha. Jessica Murphy, Melina Carter. So we have some amazing. I think I'm missing somebody. So if I am, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
But it's 7, and it's including myself. But we're in this documentary, and we share our stories and to encourage power.
Sharing personal stories about real life stories
Real
about
life
what's
stories.
happening in your life.
So we share our stories as to. So it's a transition kind of. So we share our stories in order to empower, heal, and save someone else from going through it.
Wow, that's
So
incredible.
when you see it, you look at people who, you know, like you said, people from the mirror group. So
Yeah.
Terry shares a part of her that nobody
Right.
ever really knows, that she
Right.
doesn't really talk about. So, you know, she shared herself. She gave all of her
Sure.
in this documentary as well. And so,
When is this to be released?
so it's in different film festivals right now.
Oh, nice.
So once
It's already out there.
yeah, it's already out there. So
Okay,
once,
so we can't see it anywhere
The
yet.
trailer is on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Okay,
So you
yeah.
can
Where do we find that at?
I'll check that out, as
Okay,
well as
you
get
on
your
the
book.
trailer.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
Look, I would
Yeah, I need a
tag
copy
you
of
in the
your book,
trailer.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But
Tell everybody
you know,
how to do
I think we just have to, you know, we all struggling with something, but that was a big thing because I even told her, I was like, I'm just now, you know, with my voice.
Right.
And when I tell people that, they like,
Right.
to ever really hear yourself, it's like, I'm like, I don't like that.
Right.
So for years, anytime that I've had the opportunity to do something, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm good.
Talk
And
yourself
so-
out of it.
Right. And so now I'm about to do a speaker's tour.
Okay.
And that speaker's tour is going to be for most of the summer. And so it's like now you have to hear yourself.
Right.
Because
Right.
you have a voice and you have something that you need to get out and you have
Right.
something that you need to say, and there's different topics and there's different situations and there's different things.
Right.
But now it's your time to fully use your voice in the
Right. Absolutely.
way
Get
that
out
you
there and
need
do
to
it.
be using your voice.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm learning, and I mean, it's a
But that-
process. It's
that-
learning to love my voice every day
Yeah.
in the process of loving me every
That's
day.
how we grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Going out there and doing something you never did before.
Right.
Now there's some
Absolutely.
things I'll pay people for, but those things that
Absolutely.
you know, those things that we need that are necessary for us to get to the next level that
You
we
to be
can't
uncomfortable
avoid,
to be comfortable.
that we can't
Right,
avoid,
that's
you
true.
have to dive in
Absolutely.
and do that. You know, because if you
Absolutely.
want to teach people how to be a great speaker, guess what?
Yeah,
You
to be
gotta be a great
uncomfortable.
speaker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether you don't like your voice or not. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's people out here that probably love your voice.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds. Hey,
But
look,
it's,
it
so it's
sounds
more of
fine
a
to me.
mental thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It is mental.
Yeah.
It is usually always, you know, our own, you know, thinking and how
It
we think about
is.
it more than it's anything or anyone
Right.
else, you know. And I was
It is.
sharing with her that, you know, I'm an introvert, I don't really, you know.
Me too.
Trying to,
Absolutely.
you know,
Like
yeah. I like people, but I don't like people, you know. And so, and those who are, you know, my introverts, shout out to Shamanta Janine and a whole bunch of other folks, Dale Allen. You know, so that was something that I had to work through. And one of the things that I did to help me, I had created a Facebook group. Shout out to the Nexus and all my 1,200 women in the Nexus. Sure. But I created that group to help, you know, just to help me, you know, get out there, talk
be more open and sociable,
more open, be more transparent, be more. So I'm in there.
I don't think people understand how much work it does mentally for you to work yourself up to get out there when you're an introvert. You gotta,
I mean,
it's like a prep talk. You gotta get in front of the mirror, like, okay, I'm gonna talk to him this way, and I'm gonna say it this way.
That's true.
I see it's like a week of me preparing now, and I was sharing with her, you know, 'cause I've been public speaking for a long time.
Yeah.
Would never have if I was younger, you would have never told me I would be doing all this public speaking I do. And I was sharing with her, you know, I speak all over the United States. But like you said, as an introvert, you know, it's like, okay, I need 3 days to just prepare my mind that I'm going to be in front of 200 people, 500 people.
The butterflies never go away until you get up there, then they go away.
I'm learning.
And that's the beauty of it, is that you're taking it all in, and nobody knows everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get discouraged. I get on YouTube and watch these podcasts. These people are brilliant. They are good. You know what I'm saying? But when I stopped worrying about that, we got our own thing.
You're good too.
You know what I'm saying? We're good at what we do, and people love what we do. So,
brilliant too.
Thank you. And we're just gonna keep doing it how we do it, and that's really all you got to tell yourself. Is that you're the best at what you do. Exactly. Just keep being you. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, that passion, man, is going to overrule everything.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's what I was getting ready to say. But you know, when you understand your purpose, like you were saying, and you're driven by that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you can overcome all this other stuff about being an introvert, about not locking my voice. Because I was the same way. I would speak, and I've been speaking for a long time, but it wasn't until 2 years ago that I actually would listen to recordings of me speak. I wouldn't watch them, wouldn't listen to them. People like, did you see yourself? That was great. That was awesome. Did you? Oh, girl, go ahead. You know? Oh, go ahead. You know, nah, I ain't watching nothing. I don't want to hear it. You know, if I would. There were times I press, you know, play, and then I start talking. I'd be like, oh,
you turn it,
you know, So, you know, we all have these things but if you know and understand your purpose, that will, you know, like I said, give you the drive that you need to get over, you know, over these humps. And I talk about that. I talk about that in my book as well, in Driven Success.
I need a copy.
Driven Success. Wrote the book with 18 other co-authors, and I like to say it's a straight no chaser about entrepreneurship and leadership, the journey of entrepreneurship and leadership. We're all just pouring out our stories in there.
Where can you find that at?
Best-selling book in 10 categories, y'all. 10 categories.
Oh, wow, man. Congratulations on that. Yes.
And so you can get the book at www.mydrivensuccess.com/Lexie.
Okay.
www.mydrivensuccess.com/Lexie.
That's awesome. Congratulations. So are you working on another book?
Yes, I am working on another book. So, Driven Success is my second book.
Okay.
The Speaker's Notes is my first book.
Okay.
Are
both of these on Amazon?
Collaboration. Both of them are on Amazon.
Good. And
so and I do have a third book in the works, and that book is really covering my journey about this business incubator that I'm building for women, particularly single moms, to help them those who want to start businesses.
Right. Shout out to the women out there. Shout out to the women out there. I'm telling you, man, look, the women are doing their thing today.
All day long.
I mean, like, you know, the more we do this show, man, we just find fantastic women doing so many different things.
Absolutely.
And we respect y'all. But more power, because, I mean, on top of managing being a parent, and then work, and then trying to help people, shoot.
And that's exactly why, I want to do the business incubator, because we sure are. We're gonna talk.
400 life lessons to my daughter.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yay.
What is it? What is it called?
2018.
What is it called?
100 Life Lessons to My Daughter.
100 Life Lessons to Your Daughter. Let us
It
know.
is my life story, but everything that I've ever been through in life.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
continue to go through the lesson that I learned out of it.
Wow. Well, make sure you let us know about that so we can help you pub it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many fantastic things going on. I'm just proud of the community in this day and time, because every time we turn around, there's somebody doing something great.
Yeah.
And that's just all the reason why we have this platform, because you just don't know and hear people doing these things.
Right.
People don't have the platforms that they need to reach people, to let people know, like, hey, we're doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got the news stations, but they on that for just a second.
Right.
And they may target I'm not going to say no names, but they always target an organization that ain't really doing nothing. And it just irks me, because I know that there's 15 other ones that are like doing phenomenal stuff, and they get no pub at all.
Right.
So we're just trying to provide this platform so that people like you guys can get out here and reach more people and connect with people and just keep teaching. That's it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna shut this down real quick before Facebook kick us off. Facebook is always trying to kick us off because we be spitting that knowledge. But you guys have been fantastic, man. We're definitely going to do this again.
Absolutely.
We're going to bring all our guests on again, at least another time this year. We have so many people.
Yeah,
No
this
problem.
was
No
great
problem. We
being
love
here.
that y'all were able to come through and talk to the viewers. We have viewers. Our viewers are not just local. They're like from all over the country. And even we got people in Africa and Europe that tune in every week and just to get knowledge and see what's going on. And oftentimes they're very inspired and asking us when the next one is. So we're definitely going to get in touch with you guys. But what we like to do now is do like closing remarks, where we just talk to the people and tell them about what we have going on. Just remind them of who you are and what you're doing and how to connect with you.
Okay, so LaTanya Brown, Executive Director of Leading Ladies, work with girls between the grades of 5th through high school. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can go to our website at leadingladiesindy.org, or you can give us a call at 317-627-0064. If you would like to hear me speak, I will be at Keisha Howard at Hovey Street Church, the Mother-Daughter Brunch this weekend for her program called The Manuscript. As one of the panelists, and for Volunteers of America, June 20th, I will be the keynote speaker for their Women's Reentry Conference.
Okay, nice.
And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, I'll be in
Keep it
several
going.
different places.
Get it
but
in
you can see that. You can find that out on the website, as well as Ohio and Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's leadingladies.org.
Leadingladiesindy.org.
Indeed, okay. No, it's fantastic. Lexie.
Yes, thank you for having me.
No problem.
Lexie
Thank you for
Jones,
coming.
President, Master Coach of Lexie Jones, LLC. Best-selling author, Driven Success.
Absolutely.
Go get the book
Go
right
get it.
now, right now, right now.
Amazon right now. Go get it.
Right. Driven Success. And I am, like I said, working on this business incubator, will have phase 1 going in the fall of this year. I am looking for women, particularly single mothers who have an idea that they want to build a business around.
Okay.
So that we can talk and see if you would be a good fit for the incubator.
Yep.
So I'm definitely looking for that. Tomorrow evening, I'll be on the Clark Garrison show, internet radio show. That's based out of Atlanta. To be looking for that. The end of May, I'll be on Define You Live, which is another internet radio talk show with Valencia Griffin Wallace. Shout out to Valencia. And just, go to the website, find me. You can find me on all social media, Lexie Jones or Purposeful Lexie. And, you can keep up with me there. Oh, also, my Facebook group for women entrepreneurs and leaders is called The Nexus. bit.ly/The Nexus. Love to have all of you women entrepreneurs and leaders in the community. We're doing great things in there. I provide free training every week to the women in that organization, as well as that group, as well as daily, different things for the mind and help people grow in entrepreneurship and leadership.
Fantastic. P. Wills.
I want to thank y'all, man, for coming in. This has been very good, informative. I want to touch on, this is the main reason why we created this platform.
Yep.
You know, and when people, you know, as you've, you know, mentioned, Lexie, you know, about just jumping and getting into what you are doing now, you know, we had doubts, you know, we had fear, you know, like he said, we didn't go to any, you know, type of school to do what we do, but we're just passionate and we want to help people and reach as many people as we, you know, possibly can. So by us fighting that fear is a reason why people like yourselves are here right now. And now, you know, we have an audience that really appreciates and value the information that they're getting. So, you know, that's very important. And for, you know, anyone, you know, that is, you know, listening, I mean, just invest in your passions, you know, fight that fear. You know, don't stay content with where you are. You know, just always want better for you, you know, for yourself. Don't think that you're better than people. Just want better for who you are and for yourself. And, you know, thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just astonished by, you know, that you guys came through to us today. You know, I'm always hyped up to meet new people and to learn new things. Like I said, a lot of the stuff we talked about, that y'all said, I'm going to be saying on the next segment. So be tuned into that. Because it's important, man. And everybody, we have to understand that we're always constantly learning. As much as we feel like we know, we don't know everything. And we always learn from the people that surround us. If you're not learning from the people around you, then those might not be the right people to be around.
We are all connected.
We're all connected in some way. So reach one, teach one, and let that be the purpose. We solely believe that if you change the narrative, you can change the nation.
Yes.
And to do that, we all individually have to get out there and do our part by pulling somebody in. And it may seem like it's only happening in small steps, but, you know, eventually we'll be able to look back at this and say, you know what, we did what we could.
Yes.
Right. So thanks to the viewers. Man, we have some faithful viewers. They just always tune in, comment, share, and we just love it because they look forward to this just as much as we do. And we'll be seeing everybody real soon. So don't forget to visit our website, www.thegrayareamedialive.com. If you know someone out there that would like to share their ideas or have something new and innovative and anything going on, just let us know. We're always open to that. We have another segment coming up Thursday. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to let you guys know what it's about. You guys are going to get the new segment alert tomorrow. But it's going to be fun and fantastic, and we're all going to continue learning.
YouTube.
Okay? So thank y'all again. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Thank you.
Our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern day issues. The gray area and its naming significance solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you.